Thanks for taking time to listen to this episode of the Real ResQ podcast. Take a minute to go to therealresq.com to check out these and other great deals from our sponsors here at the Real ResQ. This episode of the Real ResQ podcast is brought to you by Breeze Eastern, the world's only dedicated helicopter hoist and winch provider. SR3 Rescue Concepts, because you don't know what you don't know. And RescueSwimmerShop.com, official high-quality apparel featuring the silhouette. Breeze Eastern. They dedicate themselves to our helicopter rescue world. Since the very first helicopter rescue in November of 1945, Breeze Eastern has designed and manufactured superior rescue hoist solutions. While much of the technology and the unique mission requirements have changed over the past 75 years, their commitment to the rescuers, the operators, and those being rescued has not. Contact them today by visiting them at breeze-eastern.com. SR3 Rescue Concepts is a training company that can help your helicopter training. They train daytime, nighttime, aerial firefighting, hoist, long line, fast rope, rappel, and more. They can assist your program with standardization and safety checks or just an FAA annual refresher. With the certified flight instructor pilots and experienced crew, they are ready to help your agency keep up to date with current techniques, rules, regulations, and equipment. Plus, right now, SR3 is offering 10% off anything in their web store with the promo code, all capital letters, Real ResQ, REALRESQ. Plus, they are offering 10% from their partners Petzl and their equipment. All you got to do is send an email to info@sr3rescueconcepts.com. Mention this podcast, the Real ResQ podcast, and they'll take care of the rest. 15 years ago, photographer and Coast Guard rescue swimmer number 526, Chris Razak, created an iconic photograph. This photograph depicted the silhouette of a helicopter rescue swimmer reaching down for an outstretched hand in need against the American flag backdrop. The image went viral and became a symbol worldwide for the rescue community and the people they help. Its wild popularity inspired Chris to launch RescueSwimmerShop.com, a web store offering official high-quality apparel featuring his evocative image, the silhouette. T-shirts, hats, patches, and stickers featuring the silhouette are available at RescueSwimmerShop.com, including the flagship design, So Others May Live. Follow Chris and his story on Instagram with the handle @RescueSwimmerShop. And if you are a rescue swimmer, support rescue swimmers, or just tell people you are one at the bar, this gear is definitely for you. When you get to the website, RescueSwimmerShop.com, enter the promo code, all lowercase, one word, RESCUE, RESCUE, for 10% off your order. In episode 10, we had two guys come on and tell us an epic story of them going out and saving a ship. It was incredible. Pulling people off the ship, then pulling people out of the water, going back 3 times. It was amazing. If you haven't listened to it, go back and check that episode out. Well, they've come back again because in that episode, they talked briefly about this rescue that they did on a cruise ship called the Viking Sky. Well, they're here to tell it to us right now from start to finish. So please welcome from our friends from Norway, Hans and Alvin. My name is Jason Quinn. I am United States Coast Guard rescue swimmer number 500. These are my rescues and rescues from those of us that put our lives on the line every day so others may live. This is the Real ResQ podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Real ResQ podcast. Today I've got with me the two guys that blew my mind. Hans and Alvin out of Norway. Dude, what's up, fellas? How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Good to see you again, Jason.
Hey, good to see you, Alvin. How are you, Hans?
Oh, it's I'm fine. Really good to see you as well. We're basically like repeat offenders.
I know, right? So with it, you guys had such an amazing case on the last one, and while we were talking about that, and if anybody hasn't listened to that, go back and find the episode. They talk about the container ship, the cargo ship that just 50-foot waves, people in the water, ridiculous, awesome. Yeah, it was amazing. These guys did an amazing job. But in that, we were talking about another case that you guys had, and I've been super excited to hear about this. You guys got called out to a cruise ship called the Viking Sky, and this is back in March 23rd, 2019, and the Haglin Captive. Is that right? Did I say?
Yeah, Haglin Captain.
So these two ships at the same time are in a storm, getting beat up by 12 to 15 meter waves, which for all my Imperial friends, that's like 40 to 50 feet. The cruise ship went disabled in the water, lost all 4 engines, trying to be at anchor, and all of a sudden you guys are called out to pick up and rescue 1,400 people.
Yeah,
we're about to get on.
Crazy message to get on the radio.
Right? Mind blown.
Yeah.
So if you guys just kind of walk us through, first of all, the crazy waves. Who's on duty? What's going on?
Well, I was on duty at the Florida base. Same place, same helicopter as we talked about last time with Emslet and Rika. So we have been on a mission earlier that day. It was a Saturday. We were on it was a heart stroke, CPR, pretty standard, delivered him to hospital. Got back, had a very late breakfast at about 1-2 p.m. or something, just afternoon. And then we got this call about a cruise ship in distress. 1,400 people on board and has lost all engines. And we were like, okay. Serious? Well,
you know what? I can see that right there. Just getting that briefing, you're like 1,400 people. What the heck do you want me to do with that in this helicopter?
Yeah, you know, it took us some seconds. We're just looking at each other. Did he say 1,400? Well, let's go. And we filled up with maximum fuel. And you know, we had calls like that before, not that heavy, but it's always like they get the engine started. Very often along our coast, ships get the engine stops and we get the call. But before we are there, the engine goes and everything is fine. And that's the normal procedure. And in the helicopter, as we took off, we were talking. We said exactly that. It's not going to be anything. They're going to get the engine started and everything's going to be fine. But that didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
And we were kind of waiting for that as we were flying. It was 50 to 60 knots wind in the area. We had that kind of sideways tailwind. So we were flying pretty fast. And we were also the rescue helicopter closest to the incident. So that's why we were there first. And the site, or when we came there to see that huge ship moving that much, that was crazy. I remember we very often go out on cruise ships along the coast to pick up 1 or 2 patients with a stroke, heart disease, something.
Right.
And it's a very easy thing. You just go on top. We don't use the guideline. We just, because they are big, they don't move. So we just go on top, hoist down, get the guy, hoist up and leave. It's like a super easy thing on those big ships. And I remember when we were flying, we talked about, let's do it standard operation, go on top, no guideline, and take it from there. But that wasn't possible. The ship was really moving. So we kind of tried to give them the brief about how to handle the guideline, but they never do as we brief.
Right.
And there were like 3 or 4 guys pulling in this guideline and trying to signal them, don't pull too hard, don't pull that much. And the weak link breaks, of course. Been there before. And you have to start over again. Hoist me up and deliver it again. And second time, it seems like they start to kind of get the thing. And yeah, I get safe down on the ship. And people are like standing there. What now? And in my head, we should start the evacuation at once. Our joint rescue center said that they had coordinated with the captain and they should start to evacuate. But they kind of just stand there and nothing is happening. The ship is really moving. And at this time, the anchor was fastened. When we come to the site, we can see that the boat it's parallel with the wind and the waves.
Okay.
So it's only moving kind of head into wind, head into waves. So the pitch, fore and aft.
Yeah.
And it's a good place for hoisting. So the hoisting it's okay, not that difficult, but it's so big, and I was standing there, and you could really feel. It was like you could hear the anchor every time it moved. You can like you could hear it was hanging on the anchor. It was a very intense feeling. And they just stood there, and I was like, come on, are we going to evacuate? What? And it was kind of, no one knew what to do. They weren't really prepared. So it took some time. And we started, after a while, I don't know, 10 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
I got the first passenger and we started to hoist them. Standard sling. I started with 1 and 1.
Just kind of line them up.
That was the beginning of a very long day.
Wow. So when you had all the passengers, so I assume you had guys just kind of lined up on deck, kind of holding onto the railing.
Yeah, they were inside because of the weather. It was raining, a little bit of haul, the wind 50 to 60 knots. So they were kind of just inside, and they come out with 1 and 1. So as I hoisted the first one, they came with the second, and we started with 1 and 1 passenger, because in the Super Puma it's a little bit difficult to hoist 2 and 2 in the sling.
Yeah.
Because of the hoist is very forward, and it's low and forward in the door. So hoisting 2 and 2 is a little bit difficult. So we started with 1 and 1 because of the conditions. But on the second run, or the second time when we came back, we started to hoist 2 and 2 because we needed to speed up. 1,400 people waiting.
Jeez, that's crazy. Now, how many people can you guys fit into the Super Puma?
I've had on a mission many years ago. I had with the crew of 5. We had 19 passengers.
Wow.
So there is room for like 20 to 21. And at this mission, we had a maximum of 16.
Okay.
But we have room for more. The problem was that the area where we were going to land to take them off, it was a little bit of turbulence there. So because of the landing, the pilot didn't want to have more than he needed, and it was 4 helicopters flying, so it was always a helicopter standby behind us. So we stopped at 16.
So 4 helicopters lined up in a row, taking 16 passengers.
After a while.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So you got you got there first.
We were first and alone in the beginning.
Did you just stay on board and let the helicopter take off? or did you go back up?
No, we did discuss that. Um, and my first thought went home to my family and my children.
Yeah,
And
good
I
call.
thought at that time, I didn't feel safe. I didn't know enough about the situation. I didn't know that one engine had started. I don't know if it had started at that point. So we're kind of evacuating this ship because we are expecting a disaster. We are afraid that the anchor won't hold, and there are reefs all over the place. And it can hit the reef in seconds if the anchor loosens. So I was like, no, I'm leaving with the helicopter.
Nice. And then,
But a little bit later, a rescue man decides to stay on the ship because of the efficiency. And there is absolutely no doubt that it makes the operation, the hoisting, safer and more efficient being 2 rescue men on deck at all time. But for me, being there as in the first helicopter, first rescue man on board, I didn't feel happy with staying on the ship.
Yeah, I don't blame you one bit. Holy smoke. When you went back out, so did you go back? You went back down to the ship to help out, like with
I the first load, I think we took 10 passengers, and then the second helicopter was ready, was standing behind us, and there was a patient on a litter ready to be hoisted. But since we already had 10 people on board, we couldn't take the litter, so we stopped with those 10 and let the second helicopter come and take the litter.
Wow.
So we went. The second helicopter did their job with a litter and some more passengers. And then that second helicopter is also from my company, CHC, but working for the oil and gas industry.
Pulled from that to come do the rescue.
Yeah. And the oil and gas industry, they released 3 helicopters to help in this mission. 3 or 4. I'm not sure, 3 or 4, yeah. Then a third helicopter came from the Royal Norwegian Air Force, the 330 Squadron. And they were also there the whole night. The operation goes for 18 hours.
Holy
so they are there
smoke.
with
18 hours of working? Woo!
Yeah, 18 hours in total, the hoist operation.
Holy
So they
cow.
are the third helicopter, and then we come back as on a new round to pick up. So we just kind of get the routine. We are 4 helicopters there. There's 2 Super Pumas, 1 Sea King from the Royal Norwegian Air Force, and then a 4th helicopter is a Sikorsky 92,
wow.
also from CHC, working for the oil and gas industry. So we have 4 helicopters working together on this.
Jeez, oh man. And that's
evacuating, it's people, we're hoisting people from their wheelchair, someone are in a litter. You get, these cruise ships.
Yeah.
It's like, most people are 80 or something, 70, 80.
So I've been on 2 cruise ships, and I have to agree with you. I've seen a lot of older generation people on a cruise ship.
Yeah, I think the youngest person who hoisted were like 40 or something.
Oh my gosh.
So to hoist this in slings, I had my thoughts.
Yeah, like them being able to grip long enough.
Yeah.
Now you guys on your sling, you guys have a chest strap or a crotch strap or both?
At that time, we did not. Today we have a crotch strap.
Yeah.
After that evacuation, we have bought new ones, and now we are getting. Not all bases have that yet, but we are getting it now. New slings with crotch strap.
Nice.
And that's because of this experience.
Yeah. So one of the pieces of gear that I like, I'm going to kind of divert here for a second, but I like using known as the Bowman Screamer suit or the the AVED, the ambulatory victim extraction device. And basically it's a big jacket that comes on, and then up between your legs, you connect 3 big metal rings to the center, and then it sits you back in kind of a lazy boy position. And I absolutely love that piece of equipment. So if you guys use it,
we have that. Yeah,
beautiful.
We have that from Petzl, the Petzl Pythagor.
Yeah, they make one as well. Yeah, love them. Love them.
Yeah.
So
we use them a lot over land, or always over land if you don't use the litter.
Yeah.
And we also use that. I didn't use that on this ship, but I know several others did on those most old people. I think Hans Jonas might. Did you use that?
Yeah, a couple of times.
Yeah,
me and Long John Jonarve.
Yeah,
work together.
Yeah. So we actually use that on this ship, but you know, it takes more time.
Right, it takes more time to put it on, and and then more time to take it off once you get in the aircraft. Yeah. So again, you're evacuating 1,400 people. That you have to be efficient. So at one point or another, it's compromising your comfort versus your efficiency, and we've got this many people.
Exactly, and that was the case here.
So at what point? So you guys have 4 helicopters rolling up, one after the other, just picking people off this cruise ship. At what point did the other ship have issues? The Haugen.
I think it was about 3 or 4 hours into the operation. I think we had my helicopter had done 3 or 4 pickups, or like a total. We were 3 or 4 times. In total, my crew hoisted 42 people from the ship in 3 rounds, and then we got this new distress. And in the beginning, you know, it was on the emergency channel 16. We heard this new Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. But it was kind of in the beginning, we didn't kind of understand, is this still the Viking sky? Is there a new Mayday? Is there a new situation? Did they lose anchor? What's happening? So it took kind of a while to understand that it was a new ship. And they sent first this one of the S92s over there to check. At that time, the ship was drifting and listing a lot because it was a cargo ship with timber, and when it's drifting sideways in these waves, you know, the timber moves.
Right.
So a lot of the timber went into the sea. But it moves on top of the boat, makes it listing.
Yeah,
pretty much. And still drifting. They said it's not possible to hoist down on the ship, and they were actually not having their slings on board because they were at Viking Sky. They had left the slings at Viking Sky for a more efficient operation.
Because we're working over there, and now we got to go over here.
Exactly. And they didn't have the slings, and it was not possible to go down on the ship. So they said we're not able to do anything here. And then they sent the second helicopter that was available, which was the Sea King from the 330 Squadron. When they came to the ship, they had an anchor. They were anchored. So they were laying still, and they tried to deliver the guideline at the front of the ship.
Okay.
But the people there were no one trying to catch the guideline because, you know, the waves in between, they kind of come over the ship, and everyone was just hanging on the rails. And since the ship was listing, the left side of the ship was like in the water, like the deck was in the water because of the listing. So the crew on board, they didn't want to go down there and try to pick up the guideline. So when the helicopter kind of tried to deliver the guideline, no one picked it up, and it was impossible to hoist without it. And so after really trying, they were not able. to hoist to get the rescue man down, and they had to leave for fuel. And then my crew is up.
And then your duty time. So you've capped out.
Yeah, no, we are the next helicopter then.
Oh, you're the next helicopter coming in. Got it.
Yeah, coming
Sorry,
in on this ship.
Missed that one. So the first helicopter that was there couldn't do it because it didn't have slings. Second helicopter comes in, they can't do it because they're not helping with the guideline. Then you come in on the third helicopter.
Yes. After this is, I think we've been flying for like 6 or 7 hours at this time, lifting 42 people from Viking Sky.
Wow.
And there are 9 people on board this ship, and as we see it, it's not safe to hoist me down. The other helicopter already tried; they didn't succeed with that. So it's you have to tell the guys to jump one-on-one into the sea, which, of course, they do not want to. It's dark.
Right.
it's late in the evening. It's dark, and it's 12 to 15 meters. So it takes a long time. We instruct them to jump out on the side of the ship, not aft, but aft on the side to get like clean sea and get away from the ship immediately. And of course, with all the equipment needed, the suits, and but from the moment you tell them to do it until they actually do it, I think it takes like 30 to 60 minutes.
Oh man.
So but they start jumping, and I think we picked up 6 of those 9, and 5 of them are from the Philippines.
Okay.
And they're not happy in water, not good swimmers.
Plus, the Philippines has like nice warm water too. You guys have cold water up there.
It's like 7, 8, 9 degrees Celsius in the water. It's after a long winter, we're in March. So, and big waves and dark. So, they start jumping. We start to pick them up. And this first guy I pick up, he has this life buoy, this round life buoy. Yeah. With him. He took that from the ship and jumped together with it and was hanging on that. And this life buoy has a long rope. And as I get to him in the water, I can take this life buoy, pulls it away or throw it away, get the sling on him, hoist up. But this life buoy is hanging on to us for some reason. I kind of give the stop signal to the hoist operator because this rope on the life buoy is somehow entangled to me or that person, and I do not know if it's entangled to anything in the sea. So I kind of, hey, what's up with this life buoy? and this rope was around him. So I kind of, I stopped the hoisting. I tried to find a solution to this. And as I get rid of the life buoy, it takes my one swimming fin. It kind of entangles with my swimming fin, and I lose my swimming fin at that moment on my first pickup.
Son of a bee.
Yeah. What's the chance? So
now you're just
luckily,
angry.
I'm there in the sling in the hoist with him, so we're hoisting up. But we have extra fins on board.
Oh, luckily. Thank God. I don't carry.
And that's a lesson learned.
Yeah, right.
That's a lesson learned. What's a rescue swimmer without his fins?
Yeah.
In such conditions like this, it's nothing. I couldn't have done anything without swimming fins in these conditions.
Not in those size waves. I mean, don't get me wrong. You guys probably train. We've trained with one fin as well. Like, okay, you lose one now, you still have to continue, but.
It's way more difficult.
Way more difficult.
You're trying to do like a dolphin kick, and it's just not working. And
I would never, with one fin, I would never ask a person to jump from the ship to save him. like in an emergency, if they're already there, you have to try, you have to do what you can do. But I wouldn't ask a person to leave the ship in those conditions close to the shore with only one fin. But luckily we had spare fins, so I changed to those and we went on. On the second or third pickup, I was kind of pulled out of the water very hard as I was swimming. You know, with the waves, and it was dark. This was just not enough hoist wire out.
Yeah.
And I was kind of, pulled out pretty hard and hurt my back a little.
Ouch.
Got some pain. And I went on for a few more, but I had to just after person number 6, I wasn't able to do anymore. I was finished.
So you're tired and now injured. Like you're hurt.
I'm tired after an extremely long day. The whole crew was tired, and I'm now injured. My back is injured, and every time when I'm down in the water swimming, I can just feel that pain in the back. So I had to call it a day. And at that time, the second helicopter, the Sea King from the 330 squadron, they were just behind us, standing by. So as we stopped and left, they came in and took the 3 last persons from the ship, and in the same way from the sea.
Holy
one on one.
Wow.
So that was some experience.
And the crazy part about this is you just came off the cruise ship picking up 46 people to pick up people, 6 people out of the water from a second ship. Now you're done. You're going back to base. There's still people out there. Tag, Hans, you're it. High five. Good luck. Is that about right?
Yeah, that's exactly.
All right. So Hans, all right, let's back up a little bit before we get into you showing up on scene. Do you know all this stuff is going on while he's out there? So what do you do? Are you at home? You're just chilling out, watching TV, hanging out with the fam?
Yeah, I've just basically gone off duty a week earlier and said to, Alvin, who was there, good luck, hope you got some cool missions. But I was home alone, and everybody who knows me know that I don't have my phone on me. It's everywhere beside where it should be. But I have a standing agreement with my wife that if the phone goes crazy or the senior rescue man calls, please tell me. So I was building a garage with my father, and my wife calls in the afternoon. But hey, there's something going on with your phone. It's going nuts. So okay, it's probably something going on with the job. So okay, so I get in, look at my phone, and just tell my wife that, hey, turn on the TV. And then I see Alvin hoisting beside a giant cruise ship. And I was like, "Whoa, cool!
I know that guy."
Yeah, I know that guy. And I wish I was there. God damn it! And then I do believe it's Alvin.
True rescue swimmer.
Alvin or John Eric who said we got our own messenger group and said, "Hey, we need more guys. This is gonna take a while." So I didn't even look at my wife. I said, "I'm there. I'm coming."
Oh my gosh.
So 5 minutes later, the senior rescue man calls saying, "Hey, go to the airport as fast as humanly possible. Don't think, just get there." And me and the guy from Oslo, Nitter, we went to Gardermoen. And it's pretty cool, actually. It was really VIP treatment by the Scandinavian Airlines. They thrown 2 people off the plane to get us there and was holding at the gate to get us to Bergen as fast as possible.
What?
So, yeah. So,
I hope they got a free upgrade later. Gosh.
I do believe they got some free upgrades, but our operations center managed everything in 5 minutes. So basically, we got within an hour, I was sitting on the plane to Bergen, where the company had a line S92 to pick me and a pilot and Nitter, who's a fellow rescue swimmer, and Long John, who is also a rescue swimmer, and a hoist operator to go to Kristiansund and start replacing the crew who was going out on time.
Oh my gosh. That
So,
that in itself is great. So, you know, it's actually kind of cool. You're kind of a rock star at that point. Excuse me, I need to get on this flight. And then you land, that helicopter's waiting for me. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Basically,
oh my
I felt like
gosh.
vessel.
Yeah.
But then again, I was really new at this time, like 2 years experience. That's not very much as a rescue swimmer.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what was going on, and I have to admit I was really nervous because it was difficult to get the information, and of course you get a couple of messengers and a couple of sentences here and there, and you don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
The only thing you know that the situation is critical and you better get there fast.
Wow.
So that was it. And during the flight up, we landed in Florø and picked up the gear to Jon Arve and Erlend. I didn't have any gear. I had stolen a sea suit at a replacement suit. One of the pilots in Bergen. That was everything I got. But I know Erlend, who I'm supposed to replace. We got basically the same size in body. Like he's a little bit taller and skinnier than me. But okay, we're gonna make it work.
Oh, nice.
That was a mistake. I paid for later, but that's another story. And yeah, that was it. It was quite challenging to go from 0 to 100, especially when you don't have any experiences with it as well.
Right.
So
when you get to the cruise ship, I assume you got lowered down to the cruise ship as one of the crew members on to work on board the cruise ship. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, we got 3 rescue swimmers. We got 2 helicopters. Okay, and we knew that the guys that Alvin worked with, that they had the one rescue swimmer standing on board the ship during the hoisting operation to get things smoothly sorted out and save time. So the thing is that I'm stationed on S92, so it's and the other guys, they're stationed on the Super Puma, and Jon Arve, he got the most experience. So it was kind of set in time that Jon Arve is gonna be on the boat if he wants to do that, and Erlend is gonna be on the Super Puma where he's used to be, and I'm gonna be on the S92.
Wow.
So we kind of talk it out and how we're gonna do, and everybody was okay with the situation, especially Jon Arve, because he's taking the biggest chance staying there.
Yeah.
It's a high risk, but also high reward. But it's different from time to time and mission to mission if it's a smart thing to do. But certainly at that time it was smart. So yeah, that was basically it. We got to Kristiansund. Took a small talk with the crew, and Erlend, he got butt naked in the hangar, and I stole all his equipment, and he went to the hotel to sleep, and 15 minutes later we were refueling and ready to do some hoisting.
Holy smoke.
It went really fast.
When you got on scene, what was your, like, how, just explain to me what you saw. And
well, it was a huge ship, enormous cruise ship, and yeah, it was a little bit. It was not as what's to see it was calmed a little bit down. It wasn't rocking and rolling as much as earlier in the day. But like from a technical aspect, the hoisting area was pretty easy.
Yeah.
But it's a numbers game, you know. Lots of not to talk bad about people, but the slings, they aren't made for 80-year-olds.
Right.
They're made for strong fishermen.
Yeah.
That was a big concern. And the other thing I thought about was that there were a lot of American tourists, and they certainly know what the U.S. Coast Guards are using, because they were really asking about where the basket was when they got the sling on.
Hey, I've seen this on TV in America, and there's a rescue basket.
Yeah.
Where's that? Yeah, you ain't in
Yeah.
America no more, my friend. Come on.
There's no such thing here.
Sorry, guy, this is second class,
Yeah.
not first class.
But,
Man.
so yeah, I was really fortunate to get to that work with Alvin and Long John, who has lots of experience, and I could learn a lot from them, and especially Alvin and the other guys who commented and sent messages. So we got a better and better situational awareness of what was going on, and lots of tips and tricks, and
Yeah.
that I was really grateful for that information. It was really important to help us newbies.
How, like, when you guys were there, how many people did you end up picking up on your aircraft, or throughout? Well, during your time there, did you finish everybody off?
We got 59 on 3 turns.
Wow.
And we didn't with how the inventory of the S92 we had back at those days, we could probably have fit 25, but now we have a little bit different ramp systems. Now we could probably take approximately 35, I think, depending on the weight.
Right.
And fuel.
Now, today.
Yeah, right now. So we took 21 as the most, and the other S92 got there in the morning. They took 23, but we could certainly have put more in. But it also a safety issue with the weight and landing, and
Yeah, better be safe, get everybody on the ground than to push it too far and then all of a sudden lose the entire crew. And then agreed.
Yeah.
Wow.
Actually, the biggest challenge when it comes to a mount here was the landing on shore, because it was behind some trees and some buildings, so it was a little bit of turbulence. So that was the reason why Manny stopped.
Yeah.
At some number because of the turbulence. Yeah.
Now, did you? Hans, were you there to finish out everybody though? Was the mission complete with you on, like, in your rotation, or was there another group of guys that had to come in?
No, we went out at, I think, 11 or 12 o'clock in the evening, and we went to 10 in the morning. But the last time, the last run we had at Viking Sky, we see that this is going to go well. The thing has stabilized, and they got tugboats there, and it was getting farther and farther out to sea when you followed it on the IS. So we kind of realized that this is okay. We're gonna get called off the mission now, probably. But it was a strange evening, and lots of stories to tell. But I don't think they're suitable for the not adult audience.
You could dumb it down or G-rate it a little bit. You can tell whatever story you want, my friend. Come on.
Yeah, I could tell my experience with wheelchairs, hoisting wheelchairs. That was quite funny. We got 2 rescue men on boat, me and Jon Arve. Jon Arve is standing inside the boat and helping preparing the passengers, and I'm standing outside waiting for the passenger to come to me, and I'm hooking them to the hoist and sending them into the helicopter. By the way, it's a Goodrich hoist we use on the S92.
Okay.
I forgot it the last episode, and. So we're standing there, lots of radio communication. It's not that easy always to hear what's going on. So I'm standing there just waiting, and then this guy comes out sitting in an electric wheelchair, and I noticed Jon Arve said something, but okay, the guy's coming out in a wheelchair, electric wheelchair. Saying, okay, I haven't seen that one before. How are we going to hoist the wheelchair? So I asked Tommy, my hoist operator, like, Tommy, do you got any mountain slings or something like that? How am I supposed to get that wheelchair up in helicopter? And I started to hear Tommy and the pilots and I was starting to laugh, really laugh on the radio. And I was said, "You dumb, what's going on? Use your head." So, what are you talking about? So look under his jacket. I'm like, oh, well, there's the Pythagore. Oh, now I understand what's going on. Okay. So there were lots of small funny things happening during the night. And then I remember, they looked at me really disappointed, but you should know better. But then again, you're the new guy, you don't know much. You know enough to do the job safely, but you don't know all the tips and tricks of the trade.
You got to learn somewhere. That's fantastic.
Yeah, as we like to say, learning by burning.
Oh my gosh. You guys had mentioned a little bit, like Alvin, you mentioned the engines started to get them back on and kind of get underway again. But you got, or the ship almost hit a reef too.
Yeah, that's, we didn't know that before 2 or 3 months later.
Oh, okay.
But when we came there, they got anchor. They had the anchor fastened, and they were kind of hanging on the anchor. Yeah. And the engine, no engines worked. And we started to pick up. Second time when we came back, it was a little bit different. Then they had started one engine. One of the 4 was up running, and they were kind of pushing a little bit forward. So you could see the anchor was going backwards. You could see that the ship was moving very, very slowly. It had maybe about one knot.
Just moving backwards.
Very, very, very slowly forward with that one engine and dragging their anchor after them. Wow. And they were not moving straight ahead. We didn't know that then, but we could see it on the map from the investigation later, that they were moving kind of sideways to the right. And at that time, they are passing a reef, which is on the map 9 meters below the sea surface. And this ship is about 8 or 9 meters down. And in those waves, I mean, they are so close, and they think that it's probably was less than a meter, maybe just a few centimeters between that reef and the ship.
Oh my God.
So they are really so close to a total disaster. It's and they did pass reefs on their way in before they got anchor. There are reefs on both sides of them. So if the engine had stopped like 1 minute before or 1 minute later, they had been on a little different spot as the engine stops, they could have hit the reefs, and the picture would have been something else.
Wow.
So it's a really nasty area at our coast. It's probably the worst place that this could happen. So they have been really lucky.
Yeah. So they got lucky because they were in the best place of the worst place they could possibly be.
Exactly.
Wow. What the heck? That is crazy.
So, and also, we're very happy that they got that one engine up and running so they could push forward. Yeah, it worked well. In total, there were 30 helicopter lifts on the boat, and they lifted 460 passengers before they stopped and said that this is going to be okay. So 460 passengers off the boat in 30 helicopter lifts.
Jeez, oh man.
It was a huge operation for 18 hours. And in the beginning, 4 helicopters worked together at the same time.
Yeah.
There were never more than 4 helicopters. And in total, 6 helicopters were involved with 9 different crews. You kind of changed crews during the night.
Amazing.
And it was an amazing collaboration and cooperation between the Ministry of Justice helicopters on shore and the oil and gas industry, between different companies, different kind of helicopters. We have Super Pumas, Sea King, S-92. We have the CHC helicopter service and the Royal Norwegian Air Force. And the cooperation just went very smooth. And it's great when something like that happens along our coast. It's good to be on duty when
That's
things work that fine.
You know, you guys seem to have a couple good cases. It looks like I'm going to be calling you about every, I don't know, so many months.
Yeah,
man. Hans, that's a way to learn. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, but we can't forget, we're professionals, we in the Norwegian Royal Air Force, but there were lots of volunteers from the Red Cross and Alvin was the Norwegian People's Aid, who managed the whole gym to taking care of the evacuees when they got on shore with blankets and food and everything else, and they volunteered to do it.
The whole village where we landed, they helped the people with everything.
Mad props. That's a major shout out. That's amazing.
And it went so
really
far that they actually got a fuel truck from Ålesund, the airport there, to go down with fuel so we could refuel 5 minutes after we had on site. Yeah. Wow. So it was a huge operation, and the volunteers and the fire department and police and ambulances, everybody stepped up, and it was amazing. It was amazing to see. I remember coming in there 5 o'clock in the morning, being hungry, and asked if we could get a waffle, and they served us waffles.
Me too. We had a short break there because we needed it, and there were 4 helicopters running. We had a break, and these local people came out from some houses close by and asked if we needed something, some food, anything. They came with food to us. They came with paracetamol we needed for the headache. We were tired, and they just stood up and helped in such a good manner. I was impressed.
The full community coming together. That is amazing.
A really humbling experience to see when everybody plays on the same team, and especially the air crews as well. 460 people hoisted up safely, and one mistake and they would certainly have died. There's just one mistake and it would be a disaster. So it was a high pressure environment, but when you have good helicopters, good crew, magic happens.
Wow, I am blown away. Like everything that had to come together to make that happen, and a major success is, holy smoke, you guys, that is amazing.
That was a good day at work.
I bet when you guys got back together, how was the debrief? Was it like, yeah, that just happened, all right, I'm going to bed?
No, there has been a lot of debriefs. All the crews got together, and the debriefing has been very well organized by the Joint Rescue Center. And it's important to have lessons learned and write them down and share them. We have shared internally in our company with the CHC Coast Guard in Ireland. They got our reports, and others as well. It's important to share. There were many lessons learned.
Yeah, and Hans learned how to not hoist a wheelchair.
That's a good one.
Come on, Hans. That's pure love, right? From me to you.
Yeah, I know. But you know how it is. When you're new, you know enough to do it safely. You don't know all the tips and tricks, and it was quite funny afterwards. We had a couple of laughs about that one.
Yeah.
But
if it makes you feel any better, I have made some of the same similar stupid mistakes, and you're like, oh, I should have known better.
yeah,
So it's all good.
We like to say that you're the new guy the first 5 years, then it's okay to do mistakes. So
You're gonna
I don't have
pass.
no, I'm not out of the woods right yet. A couple of months and I can't do any mistakes anymore. That's
right.
gonna be difficult.
Embrace it. Just embrace what you got, man.
Yeah, embrace the suck.
Embrace the suck. Oh gosh, that is awesome. I love it. Well, man, if you guys want to add anything else, you are more than welcome to. But this has been awesome to listen to this story. I can't thank you enough for coming on and sharing this one. A major shout out to everyone involved in that case. Over 400 people pulled off that ship, saved the 9 guys off the other ship. Amazing. You guys are incredible. I love hearing these.
Thank you, Jason. Some lesson learned for maybe for other rescue swimmers listening. Of course, it's this when to use the sling and when not to use the sling, with the risk of actually falling out. Old people, if the shoulder is dislocated in the lift. So our experience now is to have slings with crutch strap.
Yeah.
And we use the other harness, the Petzl Pythagore that we have.
Beautiful.
On several of them. And but what I actually found the most challenging personally, kind of a dilemma you get down there, is that your mission is to evacuate as many as possible, as fast as possible. Because if the anchor loosens, this ship is going to shore and it's going down. Yeah. So as many as possible, be efficient. And when you're down there, people in an electrical wheelchair, people on a litter, it takes time.
Right.
Should you use the time on one person, or instead evacuate 4 or 6 persons at the same time? Younger, healthy persons. That's a tough dilemma, because if you choose the young people, the kind of who's efficient, who's fast, you can hoist 2 and 2 in the sling, it goes really efficient, you will get more people off in short time than if you hoist people with a hurt back in a litter, people from a wheelchair, 1 and 1. Some of the people were so scared that they didn't want to hoist alone, so they had to go assisted with the rescue man. And this takes time,
Yeah, because now you have to come back down.
But to be down there as the rescue swimmer and say no to an old lady in a wheelchair, or to a person with a broken leg in a litter, to say, sorry, you have to wait. I have to take these young people to be more efficient, to be fast. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
But if the anchor had loosened and this ship had went down, you after that you have to know that I could have rescued 10 or 20 more.
Right.
That's a tough dilemma.
Yeah.
How to prioritize when you're down there. And in my head, as many as possible, as fast as possible. But that means you have to turn down sick people, hurt people, and who can do that?
Yeah, because that's our job. Like, that's what we're sent out to do all the time.
Yeah,
man, that's
a tough one.
Yeah,
it's something to think about before you get in such a situation.
You know what? It's interesting. I don't believe there's a right answer to that, which is a terrible thing to say, because everybody on scene is going to make a different call. For me personally, I think I'm going to make the same call as you. At the same time, if I've got a litter set up ready to go, like I think you did, is when the second helicopter comes in, boom, litter goes up first. So that goes out. Now you have 1 injured and then 2 to 4. So maybe you're doing a 4 to 1 or 6 to 1 injured versus, but I mean,
Yeah.
Wow.
But it's not a good answer to it, but it's something to think about, because what I have been thinking afterwards is that if the ship had went down
Yeah.
and a lot of people had died, I would have known that I could have saved 5 or 10 more by doing it different.
Right.
But right there and then, it's extremely tough to say no to someone who's sick or hurt. So but yeah,
And
it's a tough one.
that is something to ponder for anybody that's going to be in that situation.
Yeah.
To reflect a little bit.
Yeah.
To reflect about that for others in our service. Yeah.
I honestly don't know.
And another, no.
I really don't.
Another lesson learned was that if you leave, like in this situation, one helicopter left his rescue man on board.
Yeah.
Which made them, they could not help with the second ship because they didn't have their rescue man on board. And another helicopter had left their slings on board to have a very efficient operation, which also made them they were not able to help out with the second ship. So kind of leaving equipment, leaving personnel, you have to know that if something else occurs, something else happens, you cannot help immediately. Right. But in this situation, there were many helicopters and it worked well, but it's also something to consider when you are leaving personnel or equipment to be more efficient.
Right.
That it have a disadvantage in case something else happens.
Yeah. Another one to ponder over as far as efficiency versus to be ready for a diversion.
To be ready.
Yeah. To be diverted to the next call, in the middle of that call. So, wow.
Yeah, you could also mention that this is this is going to be a long night, and I remember it very vividly. That you on a normal mission, you hoist up, you help the medic or doctor with your amazing paramedic rescue man skills. But I remember that this mission, I thought to myself, it's a long night. We're gonna be 10 hours plus. You need to take care of yourself. Yeah. You're the priority now. So when I got up and we got off station, I don't involve myself with the evacuees at all. I certainly made sure that I was drinking, I was relaxing, I took off clothes, I changed, I made the adjustment to my equipment and just relaxed and starting to mentally prepare myself for the next time I was going to the boat. Because it's really demanding with all the concentration you're doing on deck for when you're working. It's you know how it is, Jason. You work 110% with your brain. Yeah. Everything's lit up. So it's important to think about yourself as well. That this is going to be a long night. You need to be 100% concentrated, and you need to get yourself in that right place of state of mind which you're preparing when you're preparing for the mission.
Very much so. Very much so. And because if you're done, there's nobody else coming out. Well, in your case, you had a couple of the guys, but like Alvin, you got injured, and now what? If you got to tap out, like who's coming in and where are they coming from? Like, we have a limited supply of people to pick from. So, wow, good advice, guys, all the way around. Guys, this was an amazing case all the way around. Your lessons learned from it. I thank you for sharing it with everybody around the world. I can't thank you enough for coming on yet again to share this experience. So Hans, thank you so much. Alvin, thank you so much. You guys are amazing. So badass, man. Well done.
Thank you, Jason.
You're welcome.
Thank you for listening to us.
Absolutely. And with that, we are out of here. Go. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Real ResQ podcast. Please take a minute to like, subscribe, and hit that share button. I'm pulling chocks and taking off. But before I go, if anyone out there has a rescue story they would be willing to share, I would be humbled and honored to have you on as a guest. Or if you have any questions about rescue or anything else we talk about here, send an email to jason@therealresq.com. That's Jason at TheRealResQ.com. You can also check us out on our web pages, therealresq.com, our Facebook page, and our Instagram page @TheRealResQ. Again, a special thank you to all of you staying on the watch today. Always remember, when that SAR alarm goes off, those in distress are praying for a miracle. They are going to get you. Until next time, fly safe and swim hard.